Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0 Carry Comp versus Glock G42 Concealed Carry Comparison. We're back out at the beautiful Banner shooting range for another exciting video in our Bodyguard 2 Carry Comp versus series. Today it probably goes up against what some might consider its toughest challenger. Stick with me here. The Glock G42, which is the world's smallest, lightest Glock. Let's put them to the test today. You'll notice right during our first target here that the biggest difference between these two firearms, besides the name on the slide, 12-round magazines from our Bodyguard 2 Carry Comp, 6-round magazines for the G42. So I'll fire one magazine from our Bodyguard 2, and then to even up the rounds, 2 magazines for the G42. Here we go. Bodyguard 2 Carry Comp we'll do at our bottom left target. Yeah, I think we got one at the edge of the target. The rest of our group is pretty decent out there. Let's see how the G42 now does at our middle target. Here we go. G42 might be at the capacity disadvantage, but the group looks to be better out there. For our newer viewers and those unfamiliar with these firearms, we're going to go over their numbers and features now. The Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0 Performance Center Carry Comp is a micro-compact double-stack magazine-fed pistol chambered in .380 ACP. It is 5.85 inches long, 4 inches high, 0.88 inches wide, and weighs in at 11.8 ounces unloaded. The pistol has a 3.1-inch stainless steel barrel. It comes with the Amerigo tritium front night sight with an anti-glare square notch rear sight. The sights are replaceable. We're shooting the version without a thumb safety, though Smith & Wesson does make a thumb safety model available. The Carry Comp has a stainless steel slide and barrel, a polymer frame. The slide and barrel have Smith & Wesson's Armor Night finish. This pistol has a 3.1-inch barrel compared to the 2.75-inch barrel of the original Bodyguard 2. It also has a length of 5.85 inches compared to 5.5 inches on the original. The defining features of the Carry Comp are that compensator that is integrated in with the slide, and what Smith & Wesson refers to as the power port, and the barrel to help reduce recoil. There are some different sights and serrations versus the original Bodyguard 2. This pistol comes with one 10 and one 12-round magazine and is approximately $100 more expensive compared to the original Bodyguard 2. Here are the upgraded sights on the Bodyguard 2 Carry Comp. You can see that anti-glare square notch rear sight along with the Amerigo tritium front night sight that are on this pistol. The trigger on the Carry Comp is Smith & Wesson's flat face trigger. Off my gauge, this striker fired trigger has a trigger pull of approximately 3 pounds, 1 ounce. Here's a close-up of that slide integrated compensator with the power port in the barrel that Smith & Wesson notes is to reduce recoil. The Glock G42 is a micro-compact, single-stack-ish magazine-fed pistol chambered in .380 ACP. It is 5.94 inches long, 4.13 inches high, 0.94 inches wide, and weighs in at 13.76 ounces unloaded. This pistol has a 3¼ inch steel barrel. It comes with Glock's box and dot sights. The sights are replaceable. There is no thumb safety on this firearm, though it does have Glock's safe action trigger system that includes a trigger safety, among other safety features. The G42 has a stainless steel slide and barrel, a polymer grip frame. Besides that trigger safety, it also has a firing pin safety and a drop safety. Glock touts it as the smallest Glock possible. This Glock is made in the USA. It comes with 2 6-round magazines. And of note is to field strip this pistol, you do need to pull the trigger. So make sure when field stripping, your firearm is unloaded and there's no magazine in it. Here's a close-up of the box and dot sights that come stock on the G42. In the video today, you may notice that I have replaced the stock sights with a set of tritium night sights. The striker fire trigger on the Glock G42 is Glock's safe action trigger. Off my gauge, it comes in at around 5 pounds. Okay, we've seen how with slow measured shooting, while the Bodyguard 2 has the capacity advantage, G42 might have the accuracy advantage. Let's now mix in some double taps. I'll do a couple measured shots, a few double taps in the middle, in with a couple measured shots. Again, because of the capacity disadvantage of the G42, I'll have to reload in the middle. We'll do the Bodyguard 2 at the top left target. G42 will be at the far right target. Here we go. Okay. Maybe 9 of 12 on the target. We could have a couple through the same hole, so we'll have to review target cam and see if that's the case. At least 9 of 12 on the target. A few on the bullseye zone. G42, I'll do a similar sequence, not quite the same. Here we go. From back here, it looks like more hits on paper with our Bodyguard 2. Though we'll have to review target cam, there might be a couple double hits on that G42 target. As the final portion for our video today, let's take some shots at our 2-inch challenge targets. Because the G42 only has 6 in the magazine, we're just going to do 6 shots from each firearm. We'll start with the Bodyguard 2 at our left-hand challenge target. Here we go. I think from back here, it looks like we got 1 on the target, maybe a couple at the edge of the business card. Yep, definitely 1, just a little left of the bullseye. Let's see how the G42 does at our right-hand target. Okay, from back here, at least 2 on our challenge target, 1 in the bullseye zone, 1 It could be touching the bullseye zone or just off the bullseye. At least 2 on our G42 target. We'll also have to review footage from back here. I could be missing some impact. These aren't shoot and see targets. Let's dive into the conclusion of today's video and give some final thoughts on these two firearms. We saw two excellent concealed carry personal protection firearms chambered in .380 today. One by Glock, one by Smith & Wesson. Other than the name stamped on the slide and some internal differences, the main difference between these two firearms is going to come down to capacity. One of them, our G42, happens to have the single stack-ish 6-round magazines. I have one with the pinky extension on it here, making it, well, it's not terrible capacity. It's certainly anemic in today's double stack capacity enamored world, especially when you factor in that a pistol this size has double the capacity of a pistol, which happens to be taller, longer, wider, heavier, this size. Twice as many rounds, taller, wider, heavier, longer. It's almost hard to believe in today's world that the smaller pistol has not just a little more capacity, but a significant capacity advantage over this pistol. Though capacity aside, for those that aren't enamored with capacity, the G42 still has a lot going for it. In today's world, the prices come down on these a little bit to where they're priced in a ballpark that's basically the same as the Bodyguard 2, Bodyguard 2 carry comp, depending on where you shop, making them both accessible to the same consumers. They're both striker-fired pistols. They both have very good triggers. They both have good factory sights that are replaceable. In my opinion, the extra size, weight, and you may even notice I have the Hogue grip sleeve on my G42, help it absorb recoil extremely well. So this is making it one of the lightest recoiling .380s, rivaling your Security .380 and your Easy .380 as far as ease of use and controlling recoil goes. They have good triggers. Some people will customize them, though I find the stock trigger to be plenty good enough for the intended use case. I happen to have the TLR6 on this firearm. You can pretty much ignore that. We did a review on that earlier this year, and I'm just trying to find out at this point how much longer the TLR6 will last when taking it to the range and shooting it under the firearm, and seeing if the wheels ever fall off. I don't have it on there because it's, quote, something I prefer on my carry firearm. So ignore that for this review. Though the G42 is a very good firearm, it's got some customization potential for those that like to tinker. It's a very good concealed carry piece. If you have the larger pockets, you could say that it's a pocketable, compact, micro .380 pistol. Though in my case, I gravitate more towards carrying it in an inside waistband holster. Though, again, the big downside for the G42 in today's world is going to come down to capacity, which is one area where our carry comp shines. At that 12-round capacity, again, double the capacity of our G42 with those stock magazines. Some other nice things about this Bodyguard 2 carry comp are it's going to be the more concealable pistol because it's a slightly smaller, lighter pistol. Some people are going to argue that the compensator on this firearm is going to mean that it has less velocity compared to some other firearms. Though if you've watched the 15 tests that have been published so far by us, and the 18 that we still have to go, you'll know that this Bodyguard 2 carry comp has had the highest velocity across all those tests so far. Now you may be wondering, what about the 3.2-inch barrel of our Glock G42 compared to the 3.1-inch barrel of our Bodyguard 2 carry comp? Well, lucky you, viewer, we happen to have a test coming up in our next video where we will be doing two defensive ammos, one that we may have previously tested in our test, and one that the viewers asked for, the Underwood Extreme Penetrator, that we're going to test out of our Bodyguard 2 carry comp and our G42 and find out which firearm has the better velocity from each of those ammos. So if you're looking to find that out, tune into our next video and you'll be pleasantly surprised. Or maybe unpleasantly surprised. Certainly one of those two. So anyway, when I said at the beginning of this video that the Bodyguard 2.0 carry comp might be facing its biggest competition, then laughed, I actually wasn't joking. Capacity aside, as far as reliability, accuracy, ease of use, carryability, I find that these two pistols, while they're made by different companies, they have very similar attributes where it matters for me. They're accurate, they're reliable, they're easy to carry, they're at affordable price points, and again, capacity aside, It's hard for me to pick one over the other, which is probably a good thing in 2025. What do you think about these two firearms? Let us know in the comments. Well, anyway, that seems like the perfect spot to end today's video. If you enjoyed today's presentation, like the video, share it with your friends and family. Those things are free, and they really help the channel greatly. If you'd like to help us make more of these videos in the future, look into becoming a member. Fred and I really appreciate you getting this far. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a good day. Are you ready for your French fry? Oh, hey, those are my French fries. This one's yours. Are you actually tasting it today, Frederick? Oh, he's chewing it. He's not actually just like swallowing it right down. It must be good. Must be good, huh? All right. Lunchtime.